Hi, so let's talk about UK deportation order. What's a UK deportation order? UK deportation order is an order that prevents you from re-entering the United Kingdom. So basically, if in order for you to get a UK deportation order, a judge has to sign off on it. A judge has to issue a UK deportation order in order for you to be removed and be banned from re-entering the United Kingdom for a period of time. And yeah, we can get a UK deportation order. If you've given false information in your visa application before, or you've committed a criminal offense, or you've committed an immigration offense, you can be liable for deportation, especially if you've committed a criminal offense. For the purpose of deportation, most of the time, the UK Home Office will highly likely want to take your case to court for judge to recommend deportation, especially if you're a foreign national from West Africa or from some certain countries that that's easy for them to remove you. That's easy for the Home Office to establish your nationality and obtain travel documents from your country's High Commission. Most of the time they would take the case to court in order for the judge to recommend deportation, even if the nature of your offense does not necessarily warrant you to be deported or removed from the UK. Now, if you've, say you've not committed a crime, you've only breached your immigration or your visa conditions, offenses like this don't really requires the Home Office to deport you. But just for the sake of deportation, most of the time they just take the case to court and try to get deportation order to just remove you if you're a foreign national. Do you know what I mean? And then, especially if you're from Africa or you're from a third world country, if you are from a European country, I've noticed that most of the time, people that are nationals that are from European countries that commit immigration offenses, they don't most of the time recommend deportation. They just punish them wherever necessary, and they leave them back to go back into the society. Do you know what I mean? But for people that are from third world country, they would want to justify your deportation that is for the best interest of the public, for the public safety. In that case, it would be necessary for you to be, or for the person to be deported back to their home country. Do you know what I mean? So now, but in most cases, it's easy. It's very easy for you to get to catch deportation order if you've committed a crime in the UK. Now, if we're talking about crime, there are two type of crime. Yeah, there are violent crime and there are non-violent crime. And then again, if you've committed a non-violent crime, most of the time, in most cases, it's not during the sentencing guideline. Do you know what I mean? When you go to court for sentencing, most of the time, most non-violent offenses don't necessarily requires the UK Home Office to deport you. But then again, if you're a national from a third world country, they would always press the court or the judge to recommend deportation. Do you know what I mean? So if you've, on the one hand, if you've committed a violent offense, it's highly likely you will be deported. Do you know what I mean? But then again, what are there are certain sentencing you would get if you've committed a crime and you're sentenced from 1 month to 11 months. It doesn't trigger, it should not trigger deportation by law. But if you've been sentenced by from 12 months and above, that means you are liable for deportation by law. Do you know what I mean? So in the UK, whatever crime you're committing, whatever you're doing, if you're breaking the law, and you should have it at the back of your mind, if I get nicked, if I get arrested someday and I have to go to the prison, what my nature of offense, how many months or how many years sentencing am I likely to get? Or you likely to catch? Do you know what I mean? You should be aware of these things. I'm not encouraging you to go commit crime or live a life of crime. But I'm saying, if you've decided within yourself to live a life of crime, you should also inform yourself on the amount of prison sentences you would get, depending on what your lifestyle, the kind of crime you're living in. Do you know what I mean? So if you've been sentenced less than 12 months, most of the time you should not be recommended for deportation, but the Home Office will most of the time press the judge and the court to recommend deportation. Do you know what I mean? But if you've been sentenced for 12 months and above, it's easy. You're definitely going home. You're definitely going back home if you're from a third world country, especially. Do you know what I mean? Then again, do you know what I mean? If you've been sentenced less than 12 months, even if the Home Office recommend deportation and you serve the deportation order, most of the time you will get a re-entry ban of about 2 years maximum. You get maximum re-entry ban of 2 years. Even if you've not served any prison time, you only breached your visa conditions, you most of the time be banned for re-entering the UK for 2 years. But if you've been sentenced from 12 months and above, you're looking at a 10-year ban, bro. Do you know what I mean? If you've been sentenced from 12 months and above, you definitely will get a deportation order that prevents you from re-entering the United Kingdom for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? And especially if your offense, if the nature of your offense is a violent offense, you're definitely not coming back to the UK. Even if this 10 years is over, do you know what I mean? You're definitely not coming back to the UK. The law most of the time will say, oh, in order for you to be allowed to return to the UK, you have to prove that your circumstances has changed, and this proof must go above and beyond to convince the immigration officer that your circumstances has changed. But most of the time, it's very, very difficult to be able to prove, that your circumstances has changed immensely to the level to which an immigration officer will allow you to return to the UK if you was removed from the UK because you've served a prison sentence and you committed a violent offense. Even if your offense is a non-violent offense, most of the time they will not let you back to the UK. You know what I mean? It's, in order for you to even stand a chance to return to the UK, you should change your circumstances immensely. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the ways you can change your circumstances is returning to any European country, say for example France or Germany, and you re-establish your life. You regularize your stay, you get your visa, get your resident permit, and go on to become a citizen. If you return to the UK, you should not have a problem. This is proof of that your circumstances has changed. Do you know what I mean? But then again, yeah, like as I said, if you're living a life of crime, you should always inform yourself, okay, if I get nicked, if I get arrested, this is what I could be up against. I could be dealing with 3-year sentences or 5. For example, if your offense is a violent offense, offenses that they consider violent offenses are fighting. Say you fight or you beat up someone. If there's physical injuries, then you will be sentenced on you'll be charged on GBH, which is gross bodily harm. Do you know what I mean? But if there are no physical injuries, that would be ABH. Do you know what I mean? ABH back in the days usually carry like 2 to 3 year sentences. But if it's GBH, which is there's physical bodily harm, then you're looking at from 4 years and above. Do you know what I mean? These are considered serious violent victim crimes. Do you know what I mean? And if you've been caught as well, if you're selling drugs, class A drugs, class B drugs, if you've been caught on any of these offenses, they're also considered as a violent crime as well, because it requires victims are involved. Do you know what I mean? Because you're selling drugs to victims, and they consider crimes like this as violent crimes. Do you know what I mean? But if you've been convicted for fraud, money laundering, crimes like this are usually not considered a violent crime. Do you know what I mean? You can get anywhere from 6 months to 3 years, or depending the amount and the how long you've been doing it. You know what I mean? You can go up to 3 to 7 years. You know what I mean? But then, if you've been sentenced from 12 months and above, as I said, you will definitely be issued a deportation order, especially if you're from a third world country. And if you've been sentenced from 4 years and above, that is considered a very, very serious crime. You know what I mean? You will definitely get a deportation order. You know what I mean? You will be returned to your home country. In a situation where you can fight your case to remain in the UK is when you've established private life or family life, and you can prove it that you've established private life and family life. Most of the time, if you've been issued deportation order, private life is not going to cut it. Do you know what I mean? They don't really take private life into consideration. In cases where they will take private life into consideration is when you was nicked or detained for a non-violent offense. Maybe you overstayed your visa, do you know what I mean? Or you don't have, or you grew up in the UK, your parents did not apply for British citizenship for you, or you're not eligible for British citizenship because your parents were not British citizens or were not eligible for British citizenship. Yeah, but on the other hand, if you have family life, if you've established family life in the UK, that means you have a British partner or British children or British child. You can use that to stay in the UK. But if you have a child, most of the time, if it's a violent offense, if your offense is if you've done prison time of 12 months and above, especially 4 years and above, even if you have a child, most of the time they will remove you. If you're sentenced 12 months and above, they will take into consideration how long you've been in the UK, how much you've integrated into the system, and if you are in your child's life, and if whatever you're doing, you should always maintain a close and strong relationship with your child before you get arrested, and you should always document, your involvement in the life of your child. That's if you're living a life of crime. That is, do you know what I mean? But then, with all of this is to inform you, for you to inform yourself of, if you step out of line in the UK, this is what, you could be up against. You can be liable for deportation. It's, So whatever you do, always inform yourself of the consequences, so that if anything go bear-shaped, if anything go wrong, you're prepared mentally and financially to take the problem on. Do you know what I mean? But then again, if you're detained, if you're in the immigration detention center, there are always charity organizations in every detention center that are happy to help you out. Do you know what I mean? If you believe you have a strong case to remain in the UK, you can always contact one of these of organizations, charity organizations in detention centers. They can help you get a lawyer or get legal representations to help you out as well. Some charity organizations as well will help you out with recharge card to call your loved ones outside, or to call your lawyer. Do you know what I mean? But if you have done prison time, you would also always be liable for deportation, and you should always have money for lawyer, for defense, because criminal defense or immigration defense in the UK is not cheap. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you should prepare yourself, as you're living in the UK, and it's best for you to just live a pious lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? That way you'll be able to avoid a lot of problems. You know what I mean? But anyways, I'm going to end this video here. If you have any question about UK deportation order, or if you think you've breached your visa conditions, and at the moment you've absconded, you're hiding from the Home Office, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Yeah, I'm not an immigration lawyer or a criminal lawyer. You know, I'm just speaking from experience. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, if you have any question, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice one. Bye.